What if your worst days aren't caused by what happens to you, but by a single lie your mind keeps telling itself about what happiness is? We'll explore this together, then close with a guided practice to experience the shift directly. Here's what we're looking at today. Happiness isn't the fragile thing we've been taught to protect. We've learned to expect pain instead of joy, creating this mental world where love, actual love, feels scary rather than safe. When you understand this, something fundamental shifts. You stop bracing for the other shoe to drop. Happiness stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like home, like something you can actually trust. Let me tell you about this morning. Not my morning, your morning. The one where everything feels right. Coffee tastes perfect. Work is flowing. You're genuinely content. Then that familiar voice kicks in. This won't last. Or, something's about to go wrong. Within minutes, you're mentally cataloging all the ways this good feeling could be ruined. The meeting that might go sideways. The text that hasn't been returned. The bill you forgot about. You've trained yourself to fear happiness because you believe it makes you vulnerable. The joy doesn't leave because something bad happens. It leaves because you've convinced yourself that feeling good is just setting yourself up for disappointment. Your mind has become like a security guard at a party, convinced that joy is dangerous and must be monitored. This guard scans every moment of happiness for potential threats, ready to shut down the celebration at the first sign of trouble. Think about how exhausting this is. You're at your own party, your own life, and instead of dancing, you're doing threat assessment. This didn't happen overnight. Somewhere along the way, you learned that happiness was conditional, fragile, something that could be taken away. Maybe it was that birthday when the plans fell through, the promotion that didn't come, the relationship that ended just when things felt perfect. Your mind took notes. See? This is what happens when you let your guard down. So now the guard works overtime. When your partner says, "We need to talk," the guard sounds the alarm before you even know what it's about. When work gets quiet, the guard whispers, "Layoffs." When your body feels good, the guard mutters, "Probably cancer." The guard has one job: keep you from being blindsided by pain. But here's what the guard doesn't understand: its very presence is creating the pain it's trying to prevent. We've built an elaborate defense system against joy. It's like wearing a bulletproof vest to a birthday party. Sure, you're protected, but you can't feel the hugs. You can't breathe deeply. You can't fully move. The very thing that's supposed to keep you safe is keeping you from living. I see this in the smallest moments. You get a compliment and immediately think, they're just being nice. Good news arrives and you think, what's the catch? Someone loves you and you think, until they really know me. We've become so good at protecting ourselves from disappointment that we've protected ourselves from joy itself. But what if the guard's job description is completely wrong? What if joy doesn't need protection because it can't actually be threatened? This is where everything starts to shift. Because the guard is operating on a fundamental misunderstanding about what happiness actually is. We've confused happiness with circumstances. We think happiness is what happens when everything lines up, when the job is secure, the relationship is solid, the bank account is full, the body is healthy. No wonder we're terrified. In that model, happiness is always one phone call away from destruction. But what if happiness isn't built on circumstances at all? What if it's something deeper, something that can't be threatened by that meeting, that text, that test result. Here's the startling realization. Happiness doesn't need defending because real joy, the kind that comes from love, can't actually be threatened. Think about love itself. Not romantic love, not conditional love, but that deeper recognition of connection. When you're holding a sleeping child, when you're watching a sunset, when you're lost in creating something, in those moments, are you worried about protecting your joy? No. Because in those moments, you're not thinking about joy as something you have. You're simply being joy. So what happens when the guard finally takes a break? When you stop scanning for threats and let yourself actually be in the moment? Something remarkable, the very thing you were protecting against, the fear of loss, loses its power. Because you realize joy isn't something that can be lost, it's something you are. This morning, let's go back there. Same coffee, same contentment. But this time, when that voice kicks in with, "This won't last," you do something different. You don't argue with it. You don't build defenses. You simply notice, there's my guard, doing its thing. And then you return to the coffee, to the moment, to the simple fact of being alive right now. The guard might protest. It might list all the things that could go wrong. That's okay. Guard's gonna guard, but you don't have to follow it down that rabbit hole anymore. You can acknowledge its concern and choose to stay present anyway. And in that choice, something shifts. The happiness stops feeling fragile. It starts feeling reliable, like something that's always been there, waiting for you to stop defending against it. The relief of discovering that joy is safer than you ever imagined. It's like taking off that bulletproof vest and realizing you were never at war. You were at a party. Your own life's party. And you've been missing it. This doesn't mean difficult things won't happen. They will, but you'll meet them from a different place, not from the contracted, defensive stance, but from an open awareness that knows joy isn't dependent on circumstances. When you're not spending all your energy protecting yourself from imagined threats, you have so much more available for actual living. Think about tomorrow morning. The coffee will taste however it tastes. Work will flow or it won't. But underneath all of that, there's something constant, a basic okayness that doesn't need defending. That's what we're really talking about here. Not the happiness of, everything's perfect, but the happiness of, I'm okay regardless. When you stop bracing for the other shoe to drop, you realize something beautiful. There might not be another shoe. And even if there is, you'll handle it when it comes. But right now you're okay. Right now, the guard can rest. Right now, you can let yourself be happy without apology, without defense, without fear. That's the shift, from happiness as something fragile that needs protecting, to happiness as your natural state that's always available. From joy as dangerous to joy as home. The guard might not believe it yet. That's okay. You don't need the guard's permission to be happy. You just need your own. Before we move into the meditation, if this is helping you, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. It's a simple way to keep practicing together. Let's find a comfortable position. Your body knows how to do this. Just let it settle. Take a natural breath. Not deep, not special, just breathing. Notice where you are right now. This chair, this space, this moment. Nothing to fix, nothing to defend against. Feel your shoulders, they might be carrying something. Some old tension from standing guard. Let them soften. Just a little. Your mind might still be scanning, looking for what could go wrong. That's okay, that's just the guard doing what it knows. You don't need to fight it. Place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. Steady, reliable. It doesn't need your protection. It just beats. Notice any happiness here, not the big, exciting kind. Just the quiet okayness of being alive right now, coffee or no coffee. Perfect morning or difficult day. Underneath all of that, you're here. The guard might whisper warnings. Don't get too comfortable, that's fine. Let it whisper, you're learning something new. Comfort isn't dangerous. Breathe naturally, your body breathing itself. Your heart beating itself. No effort needed. Feel the space around you. All that air. All that room. You're not at war. You're just sitting. Just being. If you notice yourself bracing, preparing for something, soften. Return to this breath, this heartbeat. This moment that doesn't need defending. There's nothing to protect here, nothing to lose. Just this simple experience of being. Rest here as long as you like. The guard can rest too. Everything can rest. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers. Move gently, eyes open when they want to. You're okay, right now. In this moment, you're okay. And that's always true, regardless of what the guard believes. Thank you for spending this time in practice. A free digital ACIM resource is linked in the description if you'd like it. And if you wish, you're welcome to comment. I am grateful. Thank you for being here. For giving yourself these few minutes to remember what's always been true. The happiness you've been protecting yourself from, it's been waiting patiently for you to let it in. Be gentle with yourself today. When the guard shows up, just smile and remember, joy isn't dangerous. Welcome home.